Hello, welcome to another episode of Keep It Moving Podcast. I am your host, Novelty, and today I have with me Mike B.
Hello.
And nobody else, because I don't know. I think JT quit on us.
I can believe that. He just doesn't want to tell us, trying to spare our feelings.
My feelings are already hurt.
They should be, because now you have to deal with me alone.
Alone, right?
Maybe we're gonna have to get another lady on here to help you a little bit, because I know I can bring too much to the table at times.
Oh yeah, you bring too much to the table, all right.
Anyway,
so Mike, first and foremost, the first thing I want you to address is just tell everybody you're okay, because we've gotten a lot of listeners that are worried about you because you disappeared on them. You're looking at me crazy.
I'm like, why is that long, awkward pause?
Oh, because you disappeared on them. So
yes, I am okay.
Okay. Do you want to address anything?
Well, when we talk about what
Life.
happened this week, I'm sure I'll address it.
Okay. Well, then let's just get into it. We all woke up Wednesday morning. If you didn't go to bed knowing this already, you woke up Wednesday morning knowing that the new president-elect will be Donald Trump. And unfortunately, the cast of Keep It Moving podcast, it has been in mourning.
Pretty much. Well, some of us. I don't know about JT. I really don't know.
Well, yeah, he's been MIA, so we're not sure what's going on with JT. But I've been in mourning. The crew's been in mourning.
Yeah, and
we are finally getting to the point where we realize life must go on.
I don't know if we've all got to that point. It's just a sad day. Like Tuesday, like I was all happy Monday, happy most of Tuesday, and then as the votes started coming in, and I'm just realizing that this is actually happening. Like people are actually voting for Donald Trump. Like it could be anybody else. And maybe people are voting for him because they just had this great disdain for, Hillary. But it was just so surprising to me that the people that I, had faith, humanity failed me. And that's exactly how I felt. Humanity failed me on Tuesday, not to, knock anybody's vote. And then just to see as the votes were coming in, I'm on social media seeing all the additional divisive, posts, the racism, just the nonsense. And I'm just like, you know what? Because I got to the point where I was so angry at people. I mean, I hated people on Tuesday. And it's like, this is ridiculous. It's not that serious. I'm going through Facebook, deleting people. I say, you know what? Let me just pull back and remove myself from the situation. And that was one of the things that kind of pulled me away from social media. Just all the hatred. I mean, this is 2016, and this is what we're dealing with even now. And I don't know. It was too much.
It's been a lot of hatred, and I think that's the thing that bothers me most. A lot of hatred, a lot of anger, a lot of it. Since he has won, instead of his supporters being happy that he won and moving on and looking forward to his presidency and the things that he's going to do within his presidency, you are seeing fights breaking out, and the fights are a more racial tension than anything. Mm-hmm. And then in schools, kids are getting bullied and teased. You got one teacher that tells her Hispanic student that, "Oh, you about to be deported." And then you have,
and I'm sure she didn't feel any type of way about it, because that's just the atmosphere.
Right.
Now.
That's the atmosphere. And then you've got white students who are Trump supporters feeling that they can now call black students niggas and like Trump winning is not going to enrage a black person being called a nigga. Let me tell you right now, Trump or no Trump, call a black person a nigga and see what happens. what upsets us doesn't go away because Trump is president.
Right.
And don't think you just got a free pass because Trump is president. Because all these white supremacists coming out of the woodworks thinking they getting ready to take the country back. You still want to remember, black folks may not have voted. A lot of minorities may not have voted, but they still here. And white people are the minority when you add them into all of the different ethnicities in this country. So don't think you getting ready to get out here and pop off at the mouth and slavery about to start all over. This is a whole new breed of people. It's not getting ready to happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. So you need to back up, calm yourself down, get out of your hype, and go ahead and see what your president is going to do. This is your president. And everybody understand there are all these protests also going around going on around the country, and people are protesting, saying he's not my president. One of the reasons they're saying this, a lot of it is not to get the vote to change. Can it change? Is it possible the outcome of the election could change? Yes, there is a slim possibility, but it is a very slim possibility. But that's not what people are marching for. That's not what people are protesting for. People are having these protests because simply they are saying that regardless of this man taking this seat, I'm not getting ready to hate my neighbor. I'm still not for immigration. I'm not getting ready to change the rights of gay people. I still stand for what I stood for before he was president. That's not going to change. This divisive, angry atmosphere is not going to change who we are. So I say I'm coming out of mourning because I have to say, okay, you know what? You got to step back, novelty. You got to accept this is it. Strap on your boots, get prepared, because it's about to be a bumpy ride. But you know what? On the other side, you gonna come out, because no matter what, I am a believer in God. Maybe not a particular religion. I might not go to church every day or every Sunday, but I know one thing: God got my back, and I'm gonna be okay.
Right.
I'm gonna come out on the other side of this. I might have a few less pennies in my pocket.
Maybe a few less friends.
maybe a few less friends. But on the other side, I'm going to come out okay. And David Banner made a point, and he says that this might be the best thing to ever happen to Black Americans. Simply because maybe now Black Americans will get up and get involved and take responsibility. MSNBC had a poll, and they polled how many people actually voted and how the votes were tallied and everything. And one of the things that they polled what percentage of the country voted for Trump, what percentage of the country voted for Hillary, and they were both real close. One's like 24 or 23, 24. One was a notch higher. They were really close. And then they had, maybe like 10 or 15% that voted for somebody else. But 49% of this country did not vote. 49% of the eligible Americans able to vote did not vote.
Why do you think that is? Because of the candidates that were, placed in front of us? They had no faith that anybody would change anything?
I think partially it was the candidates. Some people were just like, I don't like either one of them. I think the other thing is I lost my train of thought.
The reason that the people didn't vote is what you're
right. Some people it was the candidates. Some people it was, for when Black America came out last two elections, they were voting for someone that looked like them, for something different. And I think they supported that. And to see just the two same olds up there, nothing changes. The institution doesn't change. I don't like either one of these people. What's the point of getting up? Whatever. And then I think some people just really, truly didn't believe Trump would win. I was one of those. I never saw this coming. But the other thing is, I think...
what's weird about that, though, and what really bothers me as well is there was a lot of people who, either didn't vote or they wrote in somebody else. And then when Trump won, they were surprised. And it's like you had the opportunity to pick somebody other than him.
And you made your vote worthless.
Because we really only had two people to vote for, and you voted for somebody else. And then we're surprised that his people, the people that support the bigotry and the racism and the hatred and divisiveness, they came out in full force and showed themselves. Why are you surprised? That not you. I'm just saying. I'm asking the general question.
And then the other reason, I think people just have gotten to the point where they don't believe in the system either.
I can see that.
And okay, I'm gonna say a few things, and we've got to first start educating ourselves. Let me say first of all these people sitting here saying it's rigged and it's a conspiracy theory. You know what? The next person that comes to me and says it's a conspiracy theory, it's been going on, they know who the president is going to be for the next 3,000 years. You don't know anything about your great-grandchildren and how they're going to respond and react. So how the hell are you supposed to figure that out? The only way to figure that out is somebody got ESP and somebody can see into the future. And if that's the case, why they just trying to figure out who the president gonna be? I'd be like, where the money coming from? You need to be asking a lot of questions.
Right. Why is that your only concern?
Right. So that to me is BS. Those people who sit up and say the system is rigged, you're right. The system is rigged. The system's rigged because simply we have an educational system that does not teach what people need to learn. I just took a college algebra course. This college algebra course goes into logarithms, polynomials, and all kinds of things. Now, let me tell you one thing. I am 40 years old, 43. And in my 43 years, I've never had to use a logarithm or a polynomial. My mother is almost 70. She is a math teacher. And outside of teaching math, she has never had to sit down and figure out an equation with a polynomial or a logarithm.
I feel like those are more scientific. Like if you were in the scientific job,
right?
Or like,
and that's what I asked her. I said, "Where in the world do you have to use this?" And I told her, I said, "If you can find one place for me to use this knowledge, I promise you, I will learn it and retain it."
It's not knowledge that everybody needs.
The only place you would ever need this is like if you were an engineer. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what you go to school for,
right?
Why is this a required course for a person graduating with a marketing degree? This is what you're focused on. Why is it that some type of government class wasn't my required course? We are focusing in schools on things that are not important. And we are also not only focusing in schools on the things that are not important, but we're changing history. We are changing our textbooks to say black folks didn't come over as slaves. They immigrated over here for better jobs. Are you kidding me? Really? So this is what we're teaching our children. So the system is rigged because
can you imagine if picking cotton was the better job? Are you
getting whipped by the master?
Yeah, that's the better job.
That's better.
Okay.
So these are the things we're teaching our children. No. Let me rephrase. These are the things that they are teaching our children, and nobody's stopping it. Everybody's allowing it. People are being okay with it. You get one long.
I think a lot of people don't even know because that's what I was taught in school. So I'm not into politics. So why should I even be concerned about what's they're teaching my kids?
The system. The system is rigged from the day you are born. The system is rigged with the institutional education we get from the day you are born. And the only way to change that is to be involved in politics. But see, they don't tell you that.
Right.
They don't tell you that in school, because if I tell you that, then that means you're going to grow up, you're going to vote, you're going to understand the importance, you're going to have a voice, you're going to be able to make decisions, and you can stop me from making money.
Which is their ultimate goal.
Which is their their whole ultimate goal is to make money. So if you tell me the system's rigged, you doggone straight, it's rigged. Now you want to fix the rigging because you have 100% power to do that. The system is rigged because they simply know you are not going to have the time, take the time, find the time, whatever it is. You are not going to go out and do the research to learn what you need to know. And it's all out there because by law, by constitutional law, it has to be out there.
Half of us don't even know where to look.
Start with the internet. Start with
Right.
you know what? You can go to any .gov site and you have to get what the law is. There is a constitutional United States Constitution.gov. I believe that is the site. It might be U.S. Constitution, something like that. Just type in Constitution.
You can Google it, and I'm sure you'll find it.
Right, and look for a .gov site. It is the full U.S. Constitution. You don't understand it? There are 50 million legal sites that you can ask. You can get legal dictionaries. It's just like when you was in school and you was learning first how to read and how to understand all the different classic novels and Shakespeare and this, that, and other. And you had to have a book here and a book here and a book here. You got to have them. Get on here, find a law library. You can get a law library. You can go. Stanford's law library is online. Somebody else's law library is online. I think UMKC's law library is online. So pull you up some law libraries from colleges that you know are real accredited colleges,
Right.
and then go to a .gov site and get your butt to start reading. Start reading. If you can't do it, I don't use the computer, then take your ass down to the library.
What voice was that? Was that your old woman voice?
Take your butt down to the library. It's all down there at the library. All I got to do is ask the little librarian, hey, I want to learn about politics.
I can guarantee you that you don't really see too many people. If you ask, just take a poll, how many people still go to the library?
You probably don't know too many people that know how to spell library anymore.
Well,
the reality is nobody really uses the library, but
it still exists.
It
and
exists.
The information is there.
And even the library is online.
Right.
So there are tools to get out there and learn. What the things that they don't want you to know, they not hiding them. It's right there for you to see. You just got to take the time to go out and do it. Like Trump won this simply because he ran this race like a reality TV show. And that's all people care about is reality TV right now. Stop. You want to talk about Kim and Kanye and Beyonce here and there. You know what? Okay, so, that dress was cute. Da-da-da-da-da. But why would you know more about their lives than you know about people making your laws?
I like that. That was almost a T-shirt quote right there. Why do you know more about their lives than you know about the people making your laws?
It scares me. So there's a couple of things that I'm just going to do partially for myself because I think I need to do them just to pass on what knowledge I know and understand. I'm no expert. You know something I don't know, please share. If I'm wrong, please say, Novelty, you was wrong. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to start just giving different pieces of information on how this government works, how money works, because this is knowledge that we all need to know. Because guess what? If we don't know it, we gonna be broke. Y'all want to learn the new math? Hey, hit me up. I know the new math. It took me a minute to figure out what the hell they was doing, but I figured it out, and I was like, oh, okay, this is easy. Now that I know it, it's simple. But when you have a child that comes home to you with this new math, and you did okay in math, and the reality is, not a lot of people do great in math.
Not a lot of people like math. Yeah.
Right. Math is a difficult subject.
Right.
And math is, especially if you're one of those people that need to rationalize things, math ain't for you. You cannot rationalize math.
Try to make sense out of it.
Right. But math is one thing. No matter how many different ways you do it, you're going to come up with the same answer.
Unless you come up with the wrong answer. You could always do that.
True. That's true. But, no matter how many ways you do it, you should come up with the right answer if you're doing it correctly. So you want to know about the new math? I figured it out. I'll show it to you. I'll show you how to make sense of it. And if you don't, you got to at least know enough to know what's going on with your children, because guess what? One day you're going to be gone and they're going to be here by themselves. And they're going to have to figure out left and right, up and down by themselves. And you can no longer protect your child. And that day comes so much sooner than all parents realize, when they start losing the ability to protect their child. At this point, 5-year-olds is running around understanding about being deported and all of this, what's going on now. So being able to protect your children is getting harder and harder. So you got to at least arm them with the tools that they need to know. And don't get me wrong, when I say uneducated, we all uneducated. It's not our fault. It is the system that was created. But those of us that are adults now need to start taking some responsibility and get out there and educate ourselves.
I agree.
When it comes to politics, I educate myself. And I always say the same thing. I don't like politics. I can't stand politics. And I don't like politicians. But I know how much they have to do with my life. And all of these people that voted for Trump and all of these Trump supporters, the man said he was going to cut taxes on the middle class by 35%. Last I checked, we don't have a middle class anymore. You either poor.
I think they're probably going to adjust what qualifies you as, or what constitutes middle class, and then cut those folks.
What
middle class going to be like 12,000.
It's going to be 2 people. But I mean, I have to admit, after his first briefing, one of the things, I'm going to repeal Obamacare. Now he's saying, well, hold on. I'm going to repeal Obamacare, but I'm going to keep parts of it. So we just got to, we got to see what happens. I think in his first 100 days as president, he's getting ready to get a whole new awakening. Because again, this is a media man. This is a businessman. And I've said it over and over and over again. Government ain't business. This is not business. He's getting ready to get a whole new insight on things. And I think it's going to make him step back and take a look. And we just have to see what he's going to do.
I feel like that's what you hope. That's what I hope. That's what most people hope that didn't vote for him. But the thing is, with him having so much support behind him, I can see him going in there doing whatever he wants to do, and then having people support him and just changing the way things are done.
Well, now see, that's where like I always said, Trump being president and the policy changes that he would make, I think the policy changes he's going to make are going to be mostly anything that any Republican won, had Mike Pence been running, had what's his name, Tim Kaine, any of those other Republicans running.
Did you talk about Tim Kaine? You sure that's Hillary's running mate, right?
Oh, no.
Her VP?
No. Who am I talking about then? The one from Canada.
Marco Rubio? I don't know.
Well, anyway.
Any other
Republican. Yeah. Those changes will be made. But otherwise, if he gets too out of hand, we still have a Congress. It's just a Republican Congress.
a Republican Congress who are afraid of him. That's the thing.
See, I don't know.
We've seen these people back away from him, come back to him because of the support he has from the people.
No, I don't think it's because of the support he has from the people.
That's what I think. That's what was proven.
I think they were wanting to keep their jobs, but now that their jobs are secure for the next few years, they can
because of his control over the people.
No, I don't know. We'll see.
No, they've already won. So I'm saying back then they were running back to him because he could say the word, and the Republicans that are supporting him, as far as the constituents, would back away. They all started coming back home.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. I disagree. I think with him having a Republican Congress, I still don't. They're going to let Republican things go through. We can give it up. SCOTUS is getting ready to be as full of Republicans as it possibly can be, unless the Democrats in House stand up and start doing what the Senate was doing, what the Republicans were doing. But Democrats don't work that way. So we can give it up. We gonna have a Republican SCOTUS. The last time all of this was set in motion like this, Bush was president. You see what happened after 8 years of him. So we liable to end up in the exact same situation Obama came in and fixed. But and I always said, I'm not really concerned about him. My concern with him is his mouth and what he says to other countries. And I'm hoping that in his briefings, that his mouth, something was said that made him put his mouth on pause and makes him step back and say, whoa, wait a minute. Now I know all this stuff I was talking about, ISIS and the war on ISIS and ISIS this and ISIS that. Hold on. This information I was not privy to. This is not really what's going on. I got a bigger problem. I got to handle it a different way. Now, don't get me wrong. Immigration.
I'm so glad you are giving him this much credit.
No, I'm giving him. I'm hoping his mouth gets shut up.
Yeah.
I think I think Congress, period, is not going to let him go too far out of whack. But I'm hoping. I'm not saying he is. I'm hoping his mouth shuts up. And then, as far as immigration, I can see immigration's getting ready to come to a standstill. I don't see mass deportation. Not of American citizens. I don't see that. I see.
He may try to stop people from coming.
I think he'll stop people from coming into the country. And if we need to stop people from coming into the country for a few years, so be it. But I think he'll stop people from coming into the country. But I just don't see mass deportation, especially of Mexicans. You can't get rid of all the Mexicans because some of them, their families was here when we bought California. Their families was here when we bought Texas. They are American citizens. So all you people living near the border screaming and hollering, oh, get rid of the Mexicans. Whoa, wait a minute. You in Mexican territory. If you live in Texas, Texas was Mexican territory. If you live in Southern California, that was Mexican territory. New Mexico, get the hint. So I don't see mass deportation. I do see a stop, though. It's going to stop. So if you're here, you better keep your butt over here if you want to be over here.
It's going to partly stop because why would anybody want to come here at this point?
Well, that's true, too.
So that may help.
You know, a few of us trying to get out.
Right. Didn't you tell me the Canadian immigration website
The immigration website crashed twice. Twice. That's sad.
Who you telling?
That's sad that Americans who, and let's be real, all this make America great again, live outside of this country and tell me what you think about America. Pack your bags and move. All these black folks, oh, I'll go back to Africa if he win. Bye. Go on over there. Tell me how you like it.
It's not as bad as we see.
Right. It's not as bad as we see.
Yeah.
But it's not like here.
Maybe that's a good thing. It's not like here.
You move outside of this country and you tell me how you feel, because every single military person I know has said, yeah, you know, it's some things outside this country we don't have to deal with, but it's no way I would live in any other country.
Because you were born here, so it's things that you aren't used to.
No, that's me. I'm saying every military person.
Military that were born here, so that's the same thing.
Okay.
I'm saying, but people who are here that are from other countries, they don't have a problem with going back home.
Yeah, because I think they from other countries, but why is everybody trying to get here?
Education or something like that.
Education? Really?
Yeah.
I thought we had the worst education system.
That's you. That's us talking as Americans.
No, that's Donald Trump talking.
Well, we have our reservations. You just gave a 20-minute speech on the system being rigged in education in America. So I agree with you. You know, it's a problem. I'm just saying, I don't think people, going outside this country, I don't think everybody outside the country is thinking America is that great.
Right now, I don't think a lot of people are thinking we'd had great at all. But, I mean, America leads in entertainment. America leads in military, whatever. America leads in a lot of different areas. And everybody's trying to get over here. And I'm not talking about, do not misunderstand. I'm not talking about anybody else's country. But I am talking about freedoms that we are given in this country. We can say what we want. I can talk about Obama. I can talk about Donald Trump like a dog if I want to. And it's nothing you can do to me, because I am afforded the freedom of speech.
It depends on what you say. You can talk like a dog.
As long as I can talk about them as long as I don't threaten their lives. I'm cool, and I'm not.
You want to
So
make
don't
that
come
clear?
knocking on my door. I'm not. You will never hear the words out my mouth. But you know, you are afforded freedoms. You are afforded freedoms here that you're not. And these are the things that I hear from military people. Yes, these countries are nice. My cousin is in London right now. He's like, yeah, the racial tensions and racial divides that you feel over there, it's not like that over here. But it's always a but. You know, he's like, I'm seeing this. He's seeing all of that. He's in London, but he's seeing every part of Europe and Asia and all of that. And he's like, but I'm coming home because there are freedoms here that I don't have. So all these people hollering this country is not great. I'll make America great again. I'm trying to figure out when it stopped being great, because I know when it stopped being great for me. January 20th, 2017. That's when Trump becomes president. That's when it stops being great for me. But I mean, this country being great, you go through the decades of this country, slavery, civil rights, where at what point was great? And white folks that won't keep saying everybody need to leave.
They don't remember that they're not from here.
That's, first of all, y'all need to leave, because most of y'all have been here less time than black people as well as Indian people. Because, you know, when the first settlers, when Columbus came over here with his smallpox, and started killing off the Indians, a few months later, they went back and grabbed black folks to come build this country.
Right.
And then the white folks came over here on that little Mayflower. I've been here since the Mayflower. Well, my family was here decades before yours. So all these white people talking about go back. No, y'all get y'all's own little island and do what y'all want to do. I'm not going anywhere. This is my home. But that's what makes this country great to me. That is what makes this country great. The fact that I can walk out my door and my neighbor can be Muslim, Mexican, Asian, Korean, white, British, English, you know, I can sit down and talk to somebody who lived a different life, who has a different thought. Believe you me, if the world was like me, it would be so much better if everybody thought like me, but it would be boring.
I was gonna say that.
It would be very
No,
boring.
I wasn't gonna say that.
I mean, think about it. If everybody thought
Had the
like
same
you,
thought, yeah.
the world would be boring.
No,
There would be no
not
adventure.
me personally, because I'm a pretty cool guy.
Well, I think I'm a pretty cool person too, but if
No,
everybody
no,
thinks
no.
like me, then I don't have nobody to debate with. I don't have nobody to have a conversation with.
You don't always have to see that. There you go. You don't always have to debate. You could just be cool. Just be
No.
cool.
No. But I mean, can you imagine having a conversation with somebody? Oh, did you see such and such on TV last night? Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I know it was good. Oh. Did you like the colors? Yeah, the colors was good. Yeah, that was good. Did you like the cake? Yeah, it was good. That was good. Where's the conversation?
I don't mind. I can have one of those conversations.
So anyway, I am no longer mourning. I am moving on with life. And I hope Mike B decides to come join me.
One of these days.
But as you can see, Mike B is okay. Ladies and gentlemen who have been inquiring, want to make sure you were taken care of. And then I kind of hit on everything that I really just wanted to talk about. But now I do have some information that I want to give. Like I said, I want to give some tidbits of information from here on out, just so we can start knowing. And for those of you who don't know, like I said, look things up. Please verify. I am no expert. I'm not a teacher. I'm not that person. Verify what I'm telling you. Pick up a book. Go to these different websites. Educate yourself. But what happened with the Gore and Bush election basically just repeated itself. The Electoral College calls the shots when it comes to the president. The popular vote does not count. And in this case, the popular vote was for Hillary Clinton. It was not for Donald Trump. So now it's the questions need to be arising. What do we do next? First step we need to do is start getting involved in our children's education. start educating ourselves, start getting involved in our local government, because Republicans almost swept, but Democrats did pick up 2 more seats in the Senate. Not the 5 they needed, but 2 more seats in the Senate. When I say nobody expected this outcome. ABC was so far off. Every single poll was completely off. Nobody expected this outcome. So wake up, educate yourselves. The Electoral College is only here. It only exists because the founding fathers were afraid that although they wanted democracy, they were afraid of democracy. They felt like people were not smart enough to make the proper decision, or that people could stage a coup and take over the presidency by swaying the popular vote. So that's why the Electoral College was created. Now, that is what's in the Hamilton Papers and all the documents going back to almost the Constitution. They felt like they were in danger of disorder if people voted directly for the president. So when you vote for your governor, the popular vote is the only thing that counts. But when you vote for the president, an Electoral College is there, and it exists. The other thing is there's a theory out there. I don't know how true the theory is, but there is a theory out there that says that the Electoral College only existed because of slavery, because Southern states would never have a fair fight, because half of their states were full of slaves who could not vote. They were considered 3/4 person and could not vote. So because of that, they wouldn't get counted right. So the Electoral College came about. Now, that's got a lot of interesting information. The Hamilton Papers do exist. This is a theory that I haven't been able to find any true backup for. Mm-hmm. So it's just right now I'm calling it a theory. It's only been 2 other times that the popular vote lost, or the popular vote lost. That was back when Benjamin Harrison was elected, even though Grover Cleveland won the popular vote. And then also when Rutherford B. Hayes and Samuel Tilden, that happened then. But those were back in the 1800s. Mm-hmm. In the 1900s, this never happened. It did not happen until Bush and Gore, and I want to say that was 2000. That's the first time it's ever happened since the 1800s. So understand how your Electoral College does come into play. Now, things have been changed in the Constitution. The Constitution was written to be adjusted. Things have been changed in the Constitution. Black people are no more 3/4 a person. Women can vote now. This is one of those little tidbits that was there that really doesn't have a place. Now, the swing states, Florida and Virginia and Ohio, they're swing states because of how much power their electoral vote has. Their vote has a lot of power. Let's see here. Wyoming has a population of 584,153 people. 153 people, and has 3 electoral votes, which means each elector represents 194,717 voters, right? Mm-hmm. But California has a population of 38 million. That can't be a million. 100, that's million. Okay, 38,800,000.
They have 55 Electoral College votes.
Right, and have 55 Electoral College votes. But they are represented, each elector has 705,454 votes. So even though California is bigger, their Electoral College represents a more massive amount of people. Right. So their votes don't count the same.
Right.
Okay, so votes don't carry the same weight. Now, if we do decide to say the Electoral College doesn't exist, right now, presidents and president-elects and people running for president, they make promises to Florida. They make promises that will help
States that have bigger
states
populations.
that have the votes they need.
Right.
Whereas states like Missouri and Kansas, we don't get no special promises. We don't get let me have a president looking out for our needs here and there, because of how we factor in. If we get rid of the Electoral College, then what happens is states like New York and states like California, because they have more massive amount of people, they become the states that they making promises to.
Right.
But from in between California and New York, there's a whole heck of a lot of people. So it becomes a different game. It's still a game. Nonetheless, it's still a game. It means you're going to have people on WikiLeaks. You're going to have emails going to this person. How can we help get our person to win? That's going to happen, period. Regardless of how you do this, because it is an election. It is a campaign. It's a race. Somebody got to win. There's going to be a loser and a winner. So no matter how you look at it, we're still going to have the same thing. However, the Electoral College can go away and the popular vote can be the deciding factor. I personally am for getting rid of the Electoral College.
I think a lot of people would be on that boat right now.
So I started getting on that vote with Bush and Gore. And the more I got to know and the more I understood of how it works, the further I got on the boat. I'm like, okay, I can get to the middle now. I ain't coming off this bad boy. But understand, there are 538 electors. The number of electors for each state is determined by the population. Every 10 years, we do a census. So when them people knocking on your door and they asking you all them questions, stop slamming the door in their face. Because when you say,
I feel like nobody has ever come to me. They just mail me out the form.
Some people get mail out forms, because some people still get door knocks.
Okay.
So when those people mail out that form and say send it back, stop not sending it back. All these people, didn't they know how many people I got in my house? Who cares? Unless are you doing something wrong?
They're harboring people.
Are you really doing? And then if you harboring people, then just say, okay, I only got 4 people. I ain't got 20 immigrants. Well, they can't vote no way.
Right.
Stop shutting the door in their face, because they determine how many electors you get in your state. They determine that. So every 10 years they come by, they take a census. This is how we figure out who gets elected. Now, in all but 2 states, the electors should vote with the people. And there's my quote, should vote with the people. In 24 states, they don't have to. By law, they do not have to. 26 states, there are actually laws on the books that say the Electoral College must vote with the people.
So, well, that would be the first thing I change.
They should, but they don't have to. And I'm sorry, it's 27 states have laws. Yeah, 24 states don't. If no one wins the majority, then guess who votes? The House. So then it's completely out of the people's hands. Mm-hmm. If it's a tie, if it's ever a tie, it's out of the people's hands, and the House of Representatives chooses the president. So it's a lot of stuff in here that I ain't okay with. If it's a tie, we vote again. If it's a tie,
give us another week.
If it's a tie, we got to have a tiebreaker. But it ain't no.
I need to make a couple more phone calls.
Right. So understand your Electoral College is your framework, and whether you like it or not, it's here. And the only way it goes away is if everybody stop talking crap, and I don't feel like it, and it ain't my job, and it's their job, and why I got to pay attention, and I don't have time, and I don't have. Stop. Get to knocking on you. You got a representative. He or she is a congresswoman. She has an office within your neighborhood. You've got a district rep. You got an alderman. I be at their front door every day.
Well, I know you you call yours.
I call mine.
And there's nothing wrong
letters.
With that.
And you know what?
And you should. That's what they're there for. And I think a lot of people don't know, first of all, who their alderman, who their congressman person is, who their representative is. And Like, that's the change we need to start making. Hold these people accountable.
Let me tell you how to find that information. Okay. Let me make this real clear. When you start with these people, make sure you got your stuff written on paper. You call them, you talk to them, you email them, you mail them letters. The pen is mightier than the sword. It always has been. When you arm them, one, with what you want in writing, when they go to Congress, they have it in writing. No, my constituents are saying this. My constituents are saying that. That's number one. Number two, you don't know who they are? You know what state you live in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can start with your state website, and all you got to do is go on there. It'll tell you who your state senators are, your House of Representatives, your governor, your Secretary of State, Treasury, who your Attorney General is. It will tell you everything. Okay, and guess what? It gives you names and phone numbers and email addresses. All that good stuff. It'll give you their Facebook account, their Twitter account. You don't like them, they doing something you don't like, blow up their Twitter. For all these new millennials who don't know nothing but social media, these people got Twitter accounts. Blow up their Twitter, blow up their Facebook. Some of them got, and I'm going to sound like an old lady, what's this new thing? Snapchat.
Oh, that's been around for years.
Okay, well, old thing. I said I was going to sound like an old lady.
You did.
So, I mean, they got all of this, okay? You need to know who's running your city government. Guess what? You know what city you live in. All you got to do is type the name of your city in there and type .gov behind it. If you wrong, Google will tell you where you right. Okay? It's not difficult. And if you don't know how to use a computer, you know where City Hall is in your city. You got a Yellow Pages. Y'all know you know how to use a Yellow Pages.
Do they even send those out anymore?
They don't send them out anymore, but you can call the phone company and they will send you a Yellow Pages if you ask for one.
Right on.
Now, I know the city I live in has their own personal Yellow Pages, and they keep sending that dang on thing out, and I just throw it in the trash. I wish they stop. But
I mean, it makes, like, if you're in a pinch, it does make for good, toilet paper. I have had to do that before.
I have not. Now, the white pages I ain't seen in years. But the Yellow Pages, I do still see copies here and there. So this information is there. Guess what? And if you still don't know and you still can't figure it out, you can figure out how to call your local radio station to win them tickets. Call your local radio station and say, hey, give me the phone number to my government office. And you can just pick up the phone and call them. They'll tell you anything you need to know. This information is out there. If you still don't know, send me an email. I'll find out for you.
Right on. You've tasked yourself with that mission.
I mean, if you still can't figure it out,
if you done got to the point where you got the email novelty, then damn it, just do it. Get the information, people.
The information is there. It's so important that we get it. It's so important that we start learning it. It's so important that we understand it.
Just imagine, when we were younger, we didn't I can only speak for myself. I didn't really think that politics and government or any of that was important. I didn't care about it. And just now I almost can't get, I used to hate when you brought it up on the show. I'm like, oh, here we go again. But now I find myself getting more and more involved. I almost pulled back from, I didn't just pull back from social media. I almost pulled back from politics too. I'm like, F this. I was on a roll of hatred though. But, getting more and more involved lets you realize how important it is and how you can actually make change. Like I can't complain about shit unless I'm doing something about it.
There you go.
And that's the problem. We love. That's the one thing we can do.
Complain. I can complain my butt off.
But I learned a long time ago. Like if I'm not going to do anything about it, then I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to complain about it.
What's the point? And I mean, like I said, I hate politics. I really do. I hate it with a passion. I hate economics.
Most people on this that listen to this show, me and JT normally disagree with you. Because it seems like, because you come with it and you want to talk about it all the time. I think that's just you letting us know the importance of it.
Right.
But you don't really say, hey, this is important. You be like, hey, let's talk about my favorite thing.
Now see, yeah, okay. And now look at who we got for president. So it's is so important. And it's not something, and I know this plea goes out to Black Americans. This is not something we teach our children. And a part of it is because we don't know it ourselves.
Right.
So how can we teach our children better when we don't know and don't understand ourselves? So we have to educate ourselves because we have to educate our children. White people teach their children politics. They children understand what's going on in the world. This is,
Even if they don't understand, they understand the importance
of
what's
it.
going
And they
on.
also understand how money works in this country. These are things. You could have the most hillbilly person in the world that don't seem to know nothing from nothing, but they can always tell you they always have an opinion and can tell you about the president and politics and what's going on in the world. And they always know, even though they ain't got none, they know the way money works. Because this is something they teach their children. This is something they teach themselves and they've taught their children. Unfortunately, because of slavery, because of civil rights, because of all the stuff that we have had to go through, we did not have that luxury. So now we have to catch up. And we got to stop sitting and saying, okay, well, because of slavery, we don't know this. Okay, we know we don't know it. Now let's take the time to learn it. We got to know this stuff. We got to learn. We got to get out there. We got to make sure our voices are heard. And I hope to God that David Banner is right. This is the best thing that happened to us simply because we are now about to get up and take a stand and learn. I really hope that we do. And with that said, I'm through, at least for today.
Right on.
All right. So thanks so much for listening. Y'all strap on y'all's little pants and life vest and everything else because we getting ready to have a very interesting ride. But as always, we'll do it together.
Right on.
Talk to y'all next week or 2 weeks. Maybe JT will be back. Maybe Mike B will come out of his little loneliness.
Let's go ahead and move on.
Good night.
Adios.